In elementary school, I always tried hard to get good grades, and I loved helping out the teachers. Students who became envious of me started calling me ugly on a daily basis. They would start off each day with, maybe people would think you're pretty if you, and would have a different thing about my physical appearance that I needed to change every day. This continued into middle school. I felt hopeless and worthless. Luckily, I grew to know that I don't find my strength from others, but from within myself. But it took a long time to get there, and the hurt still stings at times. I can hear the hurtful words still in my head like it was yesterday. But what they say never defines me. Who I am and how I treat others defines me.
Bullied from 3rd grade till 7th grade, but 7th grade was definitely the worst. Throughout every year, I was always bullied about my weight and about how I looked. I wasn't pretty enough and all that. But the worst was in 7th grade when every single day I was told that I was worthless and should die. Someone who was my quote-unquote best friend would repetitively tell me to kill myself, and that when I did, she would laugh about it and then bury me in the ground and laugh and stomp on top of my grave. She wasn't the only one. I had a few people telling me to do so, but my best friend was definitely the worst one by far. She would say it to my face, text me, and even post it on her Snapchat. The bullying for so many years really put me in a bad place. I was depressed and so much more. I had no self-confidence and really just hated myself. Thankfully, things have changed, and I am a much happier person now, but being bullied for over 5 years and with the 7th grade thing really changed my life.
I used to get made fun of for having big crooked teeth in elementary school by this kid on the bus. I wanted braces so bad, and my parents got them for me. I smile all the time now.
When I was in 3rd grade, this 4th grader on my bus would harass me every day, emotionally and physically hurt me. I never defended myself because I thought it was bad to fight back. Now I regret my decision to not defend myself. Yet all of this happened 6 years ago, so it doesn't matter now. Now the bully and I are okay friends, so I'm glad that history is far behind us.
The bullying I faced in high school was so bad that I considered suicide. I confided in my parents, and they did help and found ways for me to participate in activities that had more people like myself, where I can make friends. Being a loner meant being alone and without a support system. Getting involved in activities after school with people that have similar interests is a great way to create a support system so you're not alone. As a teacher now, I recognize the dangers of bullying. I do not allow it in my room, and students know they can come to me for advice and for help. Going it alone is lonely and can make you feel isolated. If you feel alone, start to make connections with groups and people that will support you.
Back in 6th grade, there was this girl, and for some reason, she didn't like me. And one day, she told my friends that the only reason I was sitting with them at lunch was because I had no friends, when in reality, my friends were sitting with her because they were friends with me, and for some reason, with her. She said a bunch of garbage about me, and this week, when my teacher was counting off to be put into groups, I ended up in the same group as her. And when she realized that, she cursed, and I have a feeling it was towards me. She is always negative to people, but I always ignore her because I'm not letting her bring me down. My friends even said that she had a bad vibe, and I always hear her in class gossiping about something new. I think she's making half of the stuff up, to be honest.
Stereotypical type A student who wanted to do well at a school where most of my classmates were not academically driven. The better I did in school, the less my peers seemed to like me. There were a lot of incidents, but the worst was my sophomore year after I received an award and my picture appeared in the paper. One girl brought several copies to school and many kids wrote or drew things on my face. After that, I kept to myself and ate lunch in the teacher's room.
In kindergarten to 6th grade, I was being bullied by what seemed like a different person each year. Kind of messed me up when I started middle school because I have a hard time approaching people without getting anxious.
I was bullied as a young child, probably from as young as elementary school, but the worst I remember was in middle school due to a physical issue that I had no control over. I can still remember the names of 2 kids that bullied me 25 years later. I had big ears, and as if having big ears wasn't enough, my big ears stuck out. They were impossible to hide. There were these 2 popular boys who were the worst, who would make fun of me and pull their ears out to match mine during class while I was just sitting there. They'd call me Dumbo, laugh at me. The teasing was relentless. Even worse, I played sports, and putting my hair in a ponytail was embarrassing. I'd hear kids on the other teams talking about my ears or trash talking and calling me Dumbo as well. I had the worst self-esteem, and at 11 to 12 years of age, Self-esteem is crucial, especially going into your teenage years. I remember standing in front of the mirror and asking my mom to hold my ears back just so I could see what I would look like if my ears were normal. My mom was heartbroken.
This story took place a while ago. It all started when one of my friends just left me to sit alone. I legit had no one. I became really sad, and that sadness turned into a severe depression. There were these two kids that constantly made fun of my skin color to the point where I needed to ask for help because it was bullying and was bad. It was constant. They would say things like, "I can't see you, and your skin is so ugly." I never did one thing to these people for them to bully me, but I stayed quiet. They would call me more names. The sad thing is, I let it go to my head, and it went on for so long because I was scared to get help. And not one person defended me. It's not okay. I just wanted to share my story.
Bullied to where I no longer find confidence in my body. I always try to work alone because I have constant lingering thoughts that everyone is talking bad about me.
I didn't experience intense bullying, but my older brother did. He was very social and had a lot of friends in elementary school. But once he was in middle school, he got picked on viciously by one kid. He transformed a social kid to a reclusive kid who didn't make friendships easily. It has affected his social interactions with people to this day. I think if that one kid hadn't bullied him in middle school, his life would be totally different today.
In 4th grade when I got bullied for the first time. So it was these boys who were saying that I looked like a gorilla. At first I thought they were joking, but then they said I needed to go to a zoo because I am black. That's when I realized that it was getting out of hand and that they were bullying me. It went on for a while, but finally ended. I decided to tell my mom what was going on. That really bothered me, and my mom, because I was the only black person in that class.
I was in 7th grade. I was bullied by a girl for dating a guy she liked, but I didn't let her get to me, so I decided to let her think she didn't faze me. Eventually she gave up because she saw that I wasn't going to let her ruin my life just because of a boy.
Elementary school, I liked to bug my classmates because I thought it was fun at the time. I was bored during school and just wanted to have some fun. I didn't know that it would have consequences later on. I did stop during middle school, but I still feel guilty.